So,
Alrighty then.
is this the polyamory episode now?
Yeah,
That's
it's
what
pretty
I
much what we.
remember discussing, anyways.
Yeah. I was gonna ask how you were doing because you got like a graduation related thing that was taken care
Yeah,
of recently before hopping
yeah,
right
I
into it.
mean, there's been a lot going on. Technically, I'm not completely done yet because I still have to present my thesis, and then we have like opponents who leave feedback, and then we may need, or we will need to make adjustments based on their feedback. That's how it is for everyone. And then once all of that's done, our examiner needs to grade it, and then once he's graded it, I can apply to get my certificate, I suppose. But I've gotten a diploma that is completely worthless as far as like getting a job is concerned. It's just a ceremony thing that everyone goes to. Like everyone is supposed to go to it, whether or not, or supposed to. You can, if you want to, go to it. It's there
Mhm.
for people to celebrate um, together with their classmates. So even if you have like re-examinations lagging behind or whatever, you're still like allowed to go to the ceremony. And when the ceremony is held, no one is actually done because all of us uh, have presentations afterwards. So
Interesting.
like it's basically, yeah, if you've gotten to this point, you're probably almost done. So
Fair
here's
enough.
the ceremony because we know you're all going to finish soonish, hopefully. I know one person who was there who was quite far behind on his thesis, his actual thesis. Like he was not really done. But most people just have the presentation and grading of the thing left, and then you apply for the certificate, and that's just like an that's something that is straight off administration thing. Like that, there's no ceremony behind that. You just get it sent to you with mail. So
Fair enough.
that's how it works here, anyways. I don't know.
Yeah, because it was just kind of like you said that the diploma was worthless. We were like, so what if you don't do the rest of it? What are they gonna do? Take back the diploma?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's not actually worth anything though. The diploma itself proves nothing. It is not valid as a degree or anything. So
Yeah,
it
that's
basically
why I was
just,
confused for a second.
yeah, it basically just states you have been studying at this university in this line of education. So it's not something an employer would look at and be like, okay, we'll hire you. It's more like, oh yeah, well, I mean, where are your grades? Where are the courses
Mhm.
and everything? Like, yeah. So I have a minor thing left, and then I'm completely done. Like, yeah, we're basically done. I take it as being done at this point because it's such a tiny thing left.
Fair enough.
And now, how are you? How is your? Because you've been sick.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mostly recovered. I still have occasional coughing fits, but they've been getting better over time, type of thing. Nothing too major. Um, yeah, pretty much Thursday I was ready to go and I was pretty okay again.
Mhm.
The Thursday after or before our last recording, I don't remember. One of those days I was pretty good afterwards. It's just gotta sit there and stay in, make sure everyone else stays okay. So
Mhm. Oh,
I got you.
random question.
Yeah,
Were you a Final Fantasy X fan?
yes.
All right. All right. All right.
Orin is a Bamf.
Yep. Yep. Actually, yeah, the first character in a game or a series or anything that I've wanted to cosplay was Arn. It was like That. I want to do that. I want to beat that, please. Can I do that? I do not have the build for it, but this is what I want to do now. And I was quite young at that point, but yeah.
You can do it. I
I,
believe in
I, I
you.
would I would love to do an Orin cosplay. I don't know how I would do it, but I would love to do that.
You can get some of the scar makeup for the stuff over the eye.
Yeah.
You could get a wig, or if you go to darker hair color.
I don't think I would want to go darker because I'm struggling to go lighter.
That's fair. Um,
To have the red show
yeah,
more clearly.
and then the jacket's easy enough on its own. So
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't have the
expensive, but
yeah,
easy.
and I also don't have like the build for it.
You don't need a build for cosplay. Anyone that says that you need a build for cosplay is somebody that's trying to gatekeep shit.
Yeah,
Who
yeah,
cares?
that's fair. Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like, and this is also a little bit gatekeepy, I suppose, but I always have this feeling of like, oh, well, if I'm not making the stuff myself, then I shouldn't cosplay, you know. And I cannot make things to save my life. Also, I can't do makeup, so the whole scar thing probably wouldn't work out because makeup and me don't match.
Got a friend?
This is all me without makeup, for the record. I never use any. Never have. And if I tried, it wouldn't look good.
Get a friend can help you with the makeup, or somebody at the con. They're normally pretty helpful in regards to it. If you went to a con for the
The one
cosplay,
friend that could have helped me with makeup is no longer a friend of mine.
that's valid. I'm a bit far away, but I could probably figure it out.
hmm
Get in and do a couple YouTube tutorials.
Yeah, so
Uh,
basically, I have to pay for a ticket from the US to Sweden, and then the cosplay outfit and the makeup. But then I'm good to go. It's a very expensive cosplay, but we can do
well, we'll see about paying for that ticket. We just might have to make a schedule work, but yeah.
it.
No, you can buy costumes and stuff like
Yeah.
that. Like it's definitely something that was kind of out there. Like when cosplay was starting to get big, it was like people, oh, you should make it because it'll look
hmm
better. Stuff like that. It's like, who cares? Go out
Yeah,
and have fun.
you know, when I land a job, maybe I'll look into getting an Orin outfit. At least I don't know about the wig and makeup, but hey, I could potentially get an outfit at least. But you know, it's also money and money for clothes that I'm gonna use a couple of times. It feels a bit wasteful.
Yeah, that
But
just
I
like
mean,
some days you could just dress up for a stream, just put on the
yeah,
jacket
yeah,
and
yeah.
just
I mean, I would definitely do it for stream. That's pretty much the only reason why I would do it, and possibly a podcast episode apparently. But you know. I'm actually using the podcast episodes as a reason to dress up a bit. Like I don't dress this way normally around the house, like this top. And also I'm I'm usually doing for these podcast episodes, I do casual on top and or business on top, casual down bottom because I'm wearing sweatpants. I hate jeans.
I just got home from work after
hmm
working 12 hours. I am wearing pajama pants.
That is fair. That is
I'm
fair.
I'm gonna go as soon as we're done here. I'm gonna make sure my notes are good for tomorrow, and I'm gonna go lay the fuck down. Probably take a nap.
Yeah, understandable after such a long shift. What are you drinking, by the way?
Tea, sweet tea.
Mm. Cold or hot?
Cold sweet tea for the moment.
hmm Sounds good.
Uh, my roommate Michi got it for me while I was taking the shower.
That's
That
nice.
and some food, so
hmm
makes things a little bit easier in getting ready.
Absolutely. Anyways, we got off topic for about 10 minutes. Polyamorous
We did
stuff.
introductions.
Yeah,
We did introductions. It's
yeah,
fine.
yeah.
I thought that's good.
Totally not just rambling on.
Um, so I'm pretty certain most people who will listen to us at this point kind of know what polyamory is, but for those of you that don't know, another name for polyamory is what I would call E&M, or what I write out as E&M, which is ethical non-monogamy. Um, and generally, it is the act of having multiple partners, romantic partners, or physical partners in various ways, type of thing.
Yeah, I think
Uh,
that the because some people go like, or at least some people that I've met go like, oh, so an open relationship. But for me, polyamory, because a lot of people when they think of an open relationship, it's strictly sexual. Like, yeah, you can go sleep with whomever, but you're in a relationship with me. Whereas polyamory can also include actually living together with another romantic partner or going on dates or whatever. Like, it's not just like, oh yeah, I sleep with multiple people aside from my partner. Um,
Technically speaking, things in regards to ethical non-monogamy and this, I really don't think that if we get to a point, this one's going to make it on the advertising aspect to it, but anything from cuckolding or anything along those lines to what some people call kitchen table poly is underneath that umbrella of ethical non-monogamy. The general rules about it is everyone's on the same page with their boundaries. Those boundaries are respected, and no one feels pressured to be in it, type of thing.
yeah, yeah. I think for me, um, the two most important parts of that for me is that everyone is informed and it's open. And it's not just like, oh yeah, me and my partner are in agreement. No, but the people outside of whatever relationship dynamic you have, everyone who is part of it is informed of it. Like, if you're
Mhm.
seeking someone else out for a, say, sexual relationship, then they are informed that you are already seeing someone as well, and this is what's going on, not just
Mhm.
like going out and I don't know, baiting someone in more or less under false pretenses. That's not okay for me. And then the um no one being pressured part, because like overstepping boundaries, that happens, and boundaries sometimes need to be renegotiated and talked about. Like, for me, there's a little bit of leeway there, but the no one feeling pressured into it is very important as well for me, where I feel
Mhm.
like, because there are multiple ways where someone might try and pressure someone into a polyamorous relationship, where some look worse than others, but they're all really manipulative and unhealthy, where the more apparent one, the more obvious one might be, well, if you're not gonna let me do this, then I will leave, so either we do this or I leave. um where
Or people that try to use being poly as a bandage on a failing relationship.
mm, um or I did this for you, so you should let me do this. Those type of manipulations, they're the more obvious ones, but then there's also the aspect of, because I've had it sort of explained to me, or put forward to me, like, if you're happy, then I feel happy for you. Even if you're with someone else, I just feel happy that you're doing good. And that's how a relationship should be, and you should feel the same. If I'm with someone else, you shouldn't be jealous, or you shouldn't keep me from being with someone else, because you should just feel happy for me. Um, because that's what a good person does. That's what a good partner does. And to a certain extent, I can subscribe to that mentality, but it's not as simple as all that. And um, I want to be like that, but I'm not there personally as I am right now or have been in the past. And so to have someone basically be like, this is the base requirement for being a good person, is you going along with this, is not great.
there's going to be a lot of rehashing from stuff that we've talked
Yeah.
about in earlier episodes, just so that we were being transparent here,
We
because we've talked
have
about
been
boundaries and
talking a lot about
relationships.
relationships. I feel in like we had one episode of roleplay, and then it's been mostly relationship stuff.
Well, it's because like a lot of things can be boiled down to a lot of the same rules in regards to
Mhm.
relationships, and a lot of people try to treat a lot of this stuff differently from each other, and then they end up balancing so many things and getting stressed, which I understand doesn't really work. The one size fits all approach doesn't really work for a lot of people, but there's at least some overlap in regards to it. But like something that you were talking about there, Jason, was like jealousy and stuff in regards to jealousy and stuff like that. And it's like it's okay to be jealous. It's okay to feel that emotion. What's not okay is acting on it in an attempt to control someone else. So like if if your partner was out with someone else and you felt jealous for whatever reason, that's okay, and that might be something that you need to talk about with your partner. And depending on the type of relationship that you have, their your word that was actually brought to my attention relatively recently, metamor, type of thing,
Yeah.
to kind of make sure that everything's there. Because part of my problem in a lot of my experiences with polyamory is the fact that, and I hate to say this about people, but I have the when it comes to friends or anything like that, I have the ooh shiny type of thing.
Okay.
And so like I kind of hop in and I take a look at new relationships, at new things, and I hyper focus on that for a little
Mhm.
bit,
Mhm.
which made one of my previous partners jealous.
Mm.
Um, and they tried to say, "Well, I'm not like that with your partner," type of thing. It's like, well, or with my other partner, it's like, I don't really care though. Like, it's not that I disvalue that or anything, but it's like the priorities between me and what I wanted was not affected by that aspect of their relationship. If my partner at the time had been more into interacting with their partner for various reasons, then that would have been something completely different. I probably would have been about the same because to me, I don't really look at it like that. I don't really like look at the aspect of a poly relationship there, and I don't go, "Oh, well, I'm not getting enough attention." But that's because my priorities and relationships are different type of thing.
Yeah, and for me, because I mean, there are so many different types of polyamorous relationships, and I think that you probably have more experience with them than I do, I would say. I've only been in one, and at that point, it was me having multiple partners because my primary partner, I would say, at the time, he never ended up finding anyone else, and my second boyfriend, if we wanna say, he wasn't interested in finding anyone else. And I think at the time I didn't like. I don't think any one of us handled that relationship properly. But this was many years ago as well, so older, wiser, I guess. Where my primary partner, because that was how I looked at it, anyways. I viewed him as my primary partner. Whether or not I was open about that, I don't know, but that's where my feelings were at. So my primary partner was the one who brought up polyamory and wanted to be in a polyamorous relationship, and I was not at all open to it at first, and then I sort of opened up to it more. Partially because I grew more secure in our relationship, but also
Mhm.
um, I basically just reevaluated everything, like my own views on relationships and what I wanted and stuff like that. And so eventually I started dating the second guy as well. And like my primary partner and him, they knew each other. I actually knew my second boyfriend through my primary partner.
Mhm.
So they were very much aware of one another and they would actually hang out, like all three of us, or actually a bigger group, would hang out. And that was fine. But the second guy, he was also he had jealousy issues, some jealousy issues, and I think he would have probably preferred to have me for himself. But that was never an option. Like when I got
Mhm.
to know him, I was already in a relationship, so I feel in retrospect maybe he settled for a situation he didn't necessarily want. But I don't know that for sure. Um, But I think overall he actually handled that very well. Um, and like I said, we could all hang out together. So the jealousy didn't make them have any animosity towards one another. It was more he would sometimes express to me that he felt insecure or that he felt jealous, and then I would handle that with him. And I think that was actually very functional.
Mhm.
Um, I think I did a decent job with that. Um, However, when I felt jealousy because my primary partner uh, expressed interest in someone or expressed wanting to find someone else as well, because that's when it would feel really difficult for me, and I would express my insecurities or stuff like that. He, I feel, did not give me any support or help or reassurance in that. Like I was left to handle that on my own, or like I shouldn't feel those things at all. And I think that I would have really benefited from getting some reassurance, or because what I wanted ultimately, I don't think was to control him. That I don't think was the primary goal. It was more like, all right, this makes me feel really insecure, and I need to know that I am still a priority and you still love me and
Mhm.
all those things. I might not have been the best at articulating my needs though, so that might have been a miscommunication there. But because my primary partner did not have those needs, he didn't feel jealous at all and didn't need my reassurance. I don't think he ever understood why I should need those things. So I think it's also about being open to the fact that your partner may have different needs than you do, or your partners may have needs that differ from yours, and being mm, caring enough to at least attempt to satisfy those needs.
Yeah, and that's part of the reason why, unless you're making things a purely physical aspect in regards to things, why a lot of people tell you that don't look at polyamory to try to fix a broken relationship. Because what you're
Mm-hmm.
doing is rather than fixing the problems in your current relationship, you're putting more relationships on there.
And you're also putting, because you're splitting your focus as well in a way. Because rather than fixing the issues or looking to the needs of both of, like if we assume there's two people in the
Mhm.
relationship here, looking to you two, those two sets of needs and the needs of the relationship. Like, there are three things to focus on: what one person needs, what the other person needs, and what the relationship needs in order for all three parts to function. And if there are cracks there, like getting a third person's needs and an additional two sets of like relationship needs as well. assuming that everyone has some sort of involvement with one another. That doesn't have to mean that everyone is involved in a relationship. But like, for example, with me and my two partners, they were at least friends. So, then there's like, they have their relationship on and we have ours, and it's that takes time, effort, and focus as well. And if the relationship you're starting off with is not stable, then it's more than likely just gonna put more strain on it,
Mhm.
or at least dilute the resources you can put into making the current relationship function. And
Pretty much.
yeah, and I think that it's just a different form of relationship hopping or monkey branching at that point. It's just wanting to find something to replace what's not working. And monkey
Pretty much.
branching is something that's been on my mind recently as well, so
Yeah, because like it's definitely an interesting balance because when it comes to polyamory itself, is that as mentioned, it takes work, and it takes work because of those different aspects in regards to the relationship that you brought up there. The other part of that is like it doesn't change the fact that no matter what you gotta do is you have to find a way to sit down and be able to communicate.
hmm.
If your partners don't interact with each other, but they know about each other, you still need to sit there and have a way to communicate with everybody.
Yep.
Because if something changes, everyone needs to be made aware of that in regards to a relationship.
Yeah, and it's also like if we assume that you share a life with one or more of these people, like an everyday life, then whenever you're gonna do something with one, that effectively means that you're unavailable to the other if they don't have any type of relationship with one another. And so, if you are that close with someone, then everything you do ends up affecting the other person. And if, like, it's depending again on the dynamics of the relationship. But if we're assuming like a romantic aspect, then if you and I are involved in a relationship and then I'm also
Mhm,
involved with another person, then the actions of this other person, if they affect me, then I'm gonna affect you.
mhm.
And so like it will always trickle over even if you and that person don't have a connection. You share me sort of thing. And it's like that ends up requiring a lot of communication, I feel.
And it's part of the reason why I've been thinking about that if somebody did want to be in a polyamorous relationship or add me to a polyamorous relationship thing, it's kind of like, look, I just want to be kept updated. I don't need to be involved in everything. We all want to have dinner at the same time. You want me to cook something? That's cool. If we all want to move in, you want me to clean the house, take care of things? That's great. I'm perfectly fine with that. I just need a little bit of communication. That's it.
Hmm.
And a little bit of reassurance that you need me, that you still want me here, but that's because of anxiety from previous relationships, and I'm perfectly fine admitting that. So,
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Like I could see myself operating in a polyamorous relationship, but it's not something that I'm looking for. I'm looking for a functional relationship
mhm.
with someone at this point. I'm very much not in the stage where I want to add multiple people because I'd like to get one to function first and foremost.
Mhm.
But I could see a future where it works for me. But again, it would require a lot of effort because I have anxiety and I just have issues that I have yet to overcome. And unless I have a partner who is very supportive and understanding and reassuring, then I don't see how I could function um, and have that type of relationship unless it's strictly I get to date other people and my other person, like anyone else involved with me, just doesn't get to do that. That could work for me, you know, but that's also not something that I strive for.
You just want a reverse harem.
Yeah. uh, I do have a weakness for otome games, so reverse harem, why not? No, but certainly not a goal of mine.
I don't even know what I'm looking for in regards to a relationship. I am still too busy trying to define that aspect of myself in regards to feelings.
Mhm.
I got everything else down, I think, mostly, but
Mm.
not romantic feelings.
Mm. Yeah, and I think that it's difficult to go into a relationship and make that work when you haven't figured out what you want in terms of, or where you stand in terms of romantic feelings and stuff like that.
I think it's also because, like, the three top aspects of, like, my love languages and stuff like that, like, the primary two are words of affirmation and acts of service. And the one right after that is quality time type
Mm.
of thing.
Mhm.
And so, like, for me, that's why I'm fine just being included in someone else's relationship as long as some of those needs are met, because then I still feel valued or a part of things.
Mhm.
But, like, both of my previous relationships were like, you don't value me, you favor this other stuff. And it's like, all right. So for one of them, me packing up and literally moving 1.5 thousand miles across country to a state I never wanted to set foot in means nothing to you. And the other one was, so me sitting there and making it and buying you your car parts and figuring out how to install them and put them together on my own so you didn't have to worry about it means I favor our roommate over you.
Yeah.
And, like, a lot of people don't sit there and take a look at that, like, as an aspect of, I care, that's why I'm doing this.
Yeah.
It really sucks because it's like that's how I show I care.
Yeah. Yeah, I know of a person like who is sort of similar, where a lot of people will look at him and how he is around his wife, and they'll think that he just doesn't care, he doesn't show that he loves her and stuff. But he will do things like he will always keep her car in tip-top shape, both like aesthetically and like how it's running, and uh he will take care of anything like that, and that is his way of showing that he cares and that he loves her. But he will not give compliments. If anything, he's rude. um and they sort of bicker and stuff, but I also think that's just sort of the tone of their relationship. Like, everyone else looks at it and they go, "Oh, how can you be in a like relationship like that? He doesn't respect you. He doesn't care about you. He doesn't show that he loves you." And it's like, well, I think that it's there. It's just not in a form that some people recognize. And I mean, it works for them, so I mean, all the more power to them.
And with quality time being one of the other big ones, like in a response to that, it makes it difficult because, like, for me, quality time is, yeah, I'm not particularly interested in this movie, but I'm gonna sit here with you, next to you, and spend time with you while I read a book, or while I play on my handheld system, or while I do something along those lines.
Mm,
Because, like, there's other rooms in the house.
mm,
I'm choosing to be here.
Yeah.
And that one's a little bit less of one. I can get where some people might not be in the same headspace as I am on that one, but it's like it makes it difficult when it's I don't really do a lot of the same things because I'm not big into gift giving.
Mhm.
Like the only times when I get gifts is if I go over to the store and I find something that's in regards to it. Like when I heard about Valheim and I saw it on the thing and I saw it on your wish list, I was like,
Mhm.
oh, I'm gonna sit there and do that. Oh no, you already bought it. Shit. Okay, type of thing.
Yeah, I'm
Um,
actually pretty big on gift giving, or I can be. But again, I'm a bit like you. It has to be. I'm not gonna like just get stuff just because, but I am almost constantly, unconsciously on the lookout for things to buy for the person that I like.
mhm.
And honestly, I would say that that does not give you much more appreciation either. My
Well,
my previous relationship, I would say that I spent a whole hell of a lot more money on that than I got in return, and yeah, I
it
it was not really received as a sign of love, I don't think.
it was less that, and it was more the fact that like my most recent ex had a thing for flowers.
Mm,
And to me, and I apologize for those flower lovers out there, flowers, unless you're making a garden,
mm-hmm.
to me are quite possibly one of the silliest gifts that you can get somebody. Because depending on the size of your area, they take up a lot of space. You have a piece of dishware, for lack of a better term. What else are you going to use it for? And most of these things come with other ones anyway. And they're just going to sit there and slowly go from being really pretty to really ugly in a relatively rapid amount of time.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, you can make that last longer and stuff
Yeah.
along those lines. But like,
Yeah, I mean, I didn't go for that type of gift. It was more like, oh yeah, okay, so you have an interest in drawing, you've expressed this. Okay, for your birthday, I'm gonna give you like
mhm,
a 600 bucks worth of drawing pad.
mhm,
Uh, Even though like we hadn't been dating that long at that point. And like, oh, you like board games? I know of this one board game that people say is really nice, and it costs like $250. All right, I'm getting you that for no particular reason. Oh, and this other one for another 50 bucks. Yeah, I'm including that one as well. Oh, you like these games? Yep. Okay, Steam wishlist. Click, click, click.
yeah, and like that I can get behind. But like for some of the others, it's kind of like, oh, he doesn't take you out on dates. He doesn't do this. He doesn't do that. It's like, well, no, those are expensive, and there's not a whole lot to do. To be
Hmm.
perfectly honest, most movies are kind of schlocky these days, which is neither here nor there. But like the other big one, the other big thing that kind of came out into mind, um, was one of my exes wanted to go on a trip to the ocean.
Hmm.
And when they told me they wanted to go on a trip to the ocean for their birthday, we crunched the numbers and we did not have enough money to make it because we would have had to travel 300 miles to get to the coast. It was a coast hotel that we would have been staying at, and plus food and other things for however long we wanted to stay. And so, since I know that they liked nature and other things, I made a suggestion to go somewhere else. And that was a big no-no for a week after that fact, type of thing. And like it's like unless I'm working on trying to move heaven and earth for everything that they want, a lot of people don't see it as caring. And
Hmm.
so it kind of makes my head kind of interpret, is it really that way? Like I'm trying to sit here and think about it in regards to like seeking relationships and stuff.
Yeah, I
Because
think
like I'm
that, I mean, I think that what it comes down to though is just either finding a means of communication where both parties can see and accept see and agree on what's what, basically, how much
Mhm.
stuff is worth, or finding someone who's more compatible in terms of love language, because it's like, yeah, I can try, and like if someone values, I don't know, say acts of service, I can try and accommodate that, but I don't think I'm the right person for that, because quite frankly, I'm too lazy. It's like
Well,
this takes this takes more energy from me than it's giving value to you. And then if they don't value the things that I naturally do at all, and they don't see the emotion behind it, then it ends up being pointless. Uh,
I think
but
part of the thing is that a lot of people undervalue acts of service.
mm,
Because like they think, oh well, in order to do an act of service, I gotta clean the house or I gotta like make this really fancy meal, and it's like a lot of shit takes a lot of effort. I don't want you to do that. If
mm,
I'm having a bit of a stressful day or something like that, and I tell you about it, and there's like a warm cup of herbal tea, I'm gonna value that probably a lot more than a lot of other things. Don't get me wrong, I like good meals as much as the next person, but I think that it is something that's kind of overestimated is how much people take a look at acts of service and like, oh, it's got to be these big sweeping gestures, and it's like, no, not really.
yeah, the really small things. I'm a lot better at with acts of service, like just getting a cup of tea, or those types of small things. But
Yeah.
um, yeah, I was gonna try to get back on topic of polyamory. So, because
Oh, I was gonna say, just imagine trying to figure out how to make your love languages compatible with two
yeah,
people, much less one person.
exactly.
I had a segue.
But I also was gonna basically see your thoughts on the concept of unicorns, because that's something that tends to come up with polyamory. You're making a face.
As long as everyone involved is okay with it, don't really have anything to say about it. The fact that there are couples. So when it comes to finding unicorns,
Oh, maybe we
is
should define what
because
that is as well.
a unicorn, to my understanding, I don't
Hmm.
know the entire definition in regards to it. A unicorn, to my understanding, is a specific individual, normally female or feminine presenting, that is willing to be the third in a threesome
Yep, pretty much.
for a married couple or
Yeah,
an involved couple.
yeah. Basically, oftentimes what it is in my experience is a bisexual woman, usually, who's
Mhm.
willing to be involved with both parties in an already established couple.
I have a few problems with it.
Hmm.
The first problem that I have with it is the fact that it is inherently predatory to me because it is a couple that feels safe in their environment and they're more than willing to invite someone there to their environment
Mm.
to do these things rather than doing the thing that you normally would in such situations, which is meet in a neutral area and figure out how the hell you feel.
Hmm.
Secondly, it's primarily sexual.
Yep.
And that's part of the reason why I was making the face and I go, if everyone's on board with it, I guess. The third thing, and it kind of ties into the predatory aspect about it, most of the people who are seeking unicorns use the wife or the girlfriend in this assuming heterosexual or hetero passing
Hmm.
couple to weed out and try to find these individuals,
Mm.
to find their unicorns, type of thing. And so you've got these these women who are matching with what they believe to be other women, and then they find out, oh, it's for a threesome with me and my husband,
Hmm.
type of thing. And it's like, yeah, it's tiring.
Probably yes. I can't say I've been approached for that. Actually, I sort of have now that I've actually used Tinder for the first time in my life. There are some people out there where their whole usually also these I have not seen a singular unicorn seeker profile on Tinder actually use a picture of with either of the couple's faces. I have seen one where it's been of their bodies, like both the female and male involved, like the guy wearing a suit, face not included, and the woman's cleavage, basically. Other than that, it's usually been either like a black, uh, full black page where it's just either a bit of text or nothing at all, and then the profile describes like, oh yeah, we're this and that aged couple seeking a woman to play with, basically. Um, and then other times it's it's in my opinion even worse because it's like fetish pictures, which I assume is what they seek the unicorn for, basically. Uh, and again, if that's what everyone involved is into, that's fine. But like, I've had, I think at least two profiles like that. Uh, Swipe right for me, and it's like, I don't know what gave you the indication that I have any interest. Like, if you're gonna be like that, I almost feel like let people approach you. Don't even approach other people with it. Maybe I'm being mean. I don't know, but to me it's
Here's
kind of like, ugh, I feel dirty being even approached by it. Which is not to say that like if you're into that, fine, but I don't want to be approached by it, I guess, when I'm on a dating site, personally. I don't know.
like here's the thing, and this is as someone that has done far more ERP than I'd care to admit. That tends to be what happens is it's a faceless picture, things like that. And I
Hmm.
get it. You want to protect your identity and you want to be safe and all that stuff. But here's the thing, you're on a dating app and you're looking to meet up with people.
Yeah,
And I
like I mean,
understand that you
I would not feel safe. Like if they are if they feel like this is so secretive, they can't be open about it. Like I wouldn't feel safe with that.
look,
If it's so
you're in
below
a
table that you can't even associate your face with it, then I don't know.
exactly.
Doesn't
Like
seem safe.
honestly, honestly, fucking if someone's gonna take your information and give you a hard time at work because you're seeking to add a third in your fucking bedroom, then maybe you should have a conversation with your human resources department
Yeah.
and get them to get off your butt about it.
Yeah, and I mean, I could almost understand it in the US because it's so much easier to have people fired in the US for nonsensical reasons. But it's our like rules and laws around workers' rights are decently well established to protect employees. Like if you're connected to a union, which is very common in Sweden compared to the US, and even if you're not, there's almost always a union in place at the workplace who will, to at least a certain extent, protect the rights of all workers because, yeah, they will look after their own more than others, but usually they can give you consultation on whether or not a termination is legal and to like terminate your contract because you're doing sexual shit in your spare time. That's, you know. that's wrongful termination, and then you can sue and or like just take it to court and settle for good money.
But like part of the thing is that as someone that's in the US, and even though like a lot of that stuff can happen, and people can sit there and try to fire you for that stuff, which you can get on all sorts of different things in regards to employees' rights and stuff like that, which is more just stuff that people haven't utilized type of thing. But like I don't. You're trying to find someone that's going to see your fucking faces anyway. You don't want to sit there and have it shown off in regards to it. I'm sorry, I'm not interested. I mean, to be perfectly honest, I'm probably not interested in your husband anyway because I'm very picky when it comes to my male partners, but that's not my point here.
Yeah. Yeah, and then
It's
one of the profiles I remember also had like we're a very attractive couple, and it's like, mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
and show me.
yeah. Like I'm not gonna sit there and write to you and like I don't know, probably give you my fucking contact information to some other platform so you can send me a picture because you can't do that over Tinder. Yeah, I don't know. I'd say be safe. Don't meet up with people who won't even show their picture.
Go on fucking Tinder, it's a hookup fucking app anyway.
Not everyone uses it like that.
No, not everyone does. That is
I
absolutely
don't.
correct.
But
Some
then,
people
then
use
again,
it
I also
to
have very little hope for Tinder. It's just, what can I say? I'm not meeting very many people currently.
be perfectly honest. It's just it's kind of tough. Like apps are good for all sorts of things, and sometimes people are like me and have difficulty carrying a conversation when the other person can't help me figure something out to talk about. I don't know what books you listen to, read, or listen to. I could tell you what I do, but if you're not going to respond to that, I don't know. Help me out here.
Yeah.
I was only saying that because of how we started talking, but
Yeah. No, but I think that, um, like I said, polyamorous relationship could work for me, but there is a lot I need to get over, uh, or need support in getting over for that to work. And I mean,
there you go.
first and foremost, I need to find a partner. First, one. I'd need to find not just one partner, but two. And that seems like a tall order right now when I can't even find one person I'm interested in. So I can find
Uh,
someone who's interested in me, apparently, but yeah.
I mean, to be fair, you like video games, you like fiction, you like a lot of good music, and you're very pretty. So, like, it's not that hard to find someone interested in you.
No, but then it's also like there's a lot of shallow attraction where it's just like, oh yeah, you look pretty, you have a good looking body, and it's like, yeah, but there's absolutely no chemistry here.
Hmm. I get that.
And finding that with two people again, I don't see it happening the way my life is right now.
I think that's actually part of it in regards to like polyamory and stuff like that, because like I've been talking with people who are in poly relationships and stuff like that. And like I said, I'm very picky when it comes to my mask presenting partners type of thing. But like while I don't think I could necessarily have an ongoing sexual relationship with someone that's more mask presenting, I think I could have an ongoing romantic relationship with someone who's more masculine presenting.
Hmm.
And so while the attraction might only be there for one person of the couple in regards to physical attraction, or sexual attraction more specifically,
Hmm.
I think I could probably make a poly relationship work if the other people were already together type of thing.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah, I think I would probably have like it would be easier for me, I think, to come into a relationship and already established a relationship and finding my place in that than it would be for me to be together with someone and then have them bring a person in.
Mhm.
I think that it would be easier for me to come into an already established thing and find my place there. I think I'd be more okay with that. But then my other issue as well is like I tend not to get along very well with women. Like traditionally speaking, not a whole lot of them that I get along with. There are exceptions. Generally speaking, nerdier female presenting people, but yeah, I just oftentimes there's too much energy there. And I'm just like, no, I'm not about that shit. Or they're too much like me, and like there is only room for so much ego here. I don't compete.
I think, yeah, it's definitely finding your comfort in the comforts that might be with the other individuals there,
Mm.
and it's not easy. It's
Yeah, and I think that if I were to come into like a heterosexual relationship that's already established, it would be easiest for me to come in as like because I can be attracted to women. It's just extremely, extremely rare. It's happened like once. Uh, and I've never been involved with any female presenting person whatsoever. But I've been attracted to one once, and so it can happen. Um, so I think that it'd be easiest if I was at least friends or in some way relatively attracted to the woman in the relationship and then being brought in, because otherwise I am more like I am a competitive person. If I come in from the other way, I'm just gonna be like, that's competition. And like not even like aggro, more just more almost like I just need to win. I just need to prove that I'm better, not because I want to drive this person away. More just like I want to win at everything I do.
I think, and more for just kind of like levity in regards to the situation, I think I would like to be able to just kind of slam dice on a table and just be like, all right, we're playing a tabletop type of thing in regards to it.
Mm.
Or like just being able to sit down and not need an online subscription to play games with the people I care about.
Yeah, I
I
was about
think,
to say, just imagine having enough partners involved in some sort of
yeah,
poly relationship to where you can just have role play sessions in the house. It's like, okay, call everyone here, gather around. It's time for some poly D&D or whatever.
exactly.
Um,
That's
also,
life. That's
oh,
that's the dream.
yeah, that's the real dream here. That's the real goal. It's not about having a functional relationship or functional relationships. It's all about playing roleplay games. Um,
Look, we can play out our issues with each other through our characters in a healthy environment.
absolutely. Also, I forgot about it while we were talking about it, but when we were talking about when we were talking about the unicorn thing,
Hmm.
I was like, we have now addressed the unicorn in the room.
That we have.
I had to say that. I had to work it in because I was a little bit too proud of that one, more so than I should have been.
I just, I get it. Girls are hot. Be fucking upfront with what you're looking for. For the love of God. Show a
Yeah.
picture of your face.
Hmm.
It could be a nice face. It could be a wedding photo if you guys are married. It could be you guys hanging out at the bar with drinks and a silly little haha thing. The people like show your face. Be honest.
Hmm.
If you're just if you don't show anything other than just yourself from the neck down and fetish wear, you're gonna drive away more people. I'm sorry.
We slipped back to it just because I mentioned unicorns. Uh, yeah.
It bothers me. It bothers me that that's what people do.
Yeah, well, a lot of things people do bother me. I guess to each their own, but I think, to each their own. They're allowed to do it. I'm not gonna go hunt them down, but I am going to have opinions about it.
Hmm. Yeah,
Uh,
like I said, as long as everyone's on board, that's fine. It's just ah, makes me feel like a piece of meat.
yeah, it's not a good feeling. I've been there for other reasons. Definitely not a healthy place to be. Would not recommend. Was a good way for me to lose weight that I didn't need to lose though.
But yeah, no, there's a lot of pros to a polyamorous relationship if you're willing to work on it, and that's the tough part.
Hmm. Yeah.
Because like a relationship's hard enough on its own.
Hmm.
Two, three, four more, it's kind of tough to manage
Sometimes I
sometimes.
wonder like what it would be like because I am not the type that can just have a strictly sexual relationship, like the no strings attached, no emotions, blah 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 sort of thing. I
Hmm.
can't do that. It's just not how I function. Um, but sometimes I wonder what it would be like to be that type of person and be with someone who is that type of person and you're like, okay, you can go fuck whomever you want to, I go fuck whomever I want to, and we both just have feelings for one another, and so we have our relationship and then we go have sex with other people, like an open relationship basically. And sometimes I wonder like how would that feel? Would that be great? I don't know. Would it be good to be able to have sex without feelings involved? I can't do it. It would be so very unhealthy for me if I tried that. Um,
For
but I
me,
sometimes wonder.
I don't need to be in a relationship with someone to have sex. It's much better if there's at least some form of connection. I'm not saying that, like we have to be dating. I don't
No,
need
no,
that.
I agree there. Like I have had sex with people that I wouldn't necessarily want to be in a relationship
Hmm.
but like there has still been I've still known them very well and like
Hmm.
I'm attracted to you and I think you're a great person and honestly I wish I could date you but it will not work.
Hmm.
Sort of deal. That's been a thing, but
I
just
wouldn't mind that either.
but I'm not the type who can I don't know, go to a bar and just like that person. I want to fuck that person that I know nothing about, but I see this person and they're perfect. I want to bang them now. It does not work.
It is. It's mm, that if it works for you and you're having a good time with it, that's great. It does not feel worth it to me as someone that's done hookups and stuff like that before. It's definitely better if there's some form of connection.
That's fair.
Man, that being said, I think that's about time. So,
Yeah, we got off
most
topic a couple of times, or rather, slid on over to more general relationship stuff as per usual, but they're all related.
yeah, we gotta get a little bit deeper about our own individual things rather than just kind of generic relationship stuff, though. It's a little
Yeah,
bit more open, I suppose. So I think it was good. But that being said, I think we'll just go ahead and close this out and get ready for next time,
so you can get some
where
sleep.
maybe where we will see what all it is that we talk about then.
Hmm.
Um, but as of this recording, we've got a session tomorrow, so we get to do some fun stuff.
Yeah. Speaking of role playing, we get to do that. Not with
Yeah.
a bunch of relationship people, but we get to play role-playing games anyways. It's
One
all
of
good.
them's aromantic, so it's not really gonna work out in that aspect.
You know,
But it's still fun. He's a
yeah.
good group of people.
hmm Lots of love anyways. Platonic love.
Yeah, exactly.
And with
Alrighty
that
then.
said,
I'll
end
catch
of
you guys
session.
next time.